Good morning. I'm going to have some coffee this morning. And I'm going to make some chili. I'm going to get my hands washed. Trying to break little one, my fur baby, of wanting to come into the kitchen and be aggressive. So I put up a little temporary gate this morning. We'll see how that works. It could be interesting, so bear with me. So, I hope everyone's having a good day. The sun's out here this morning already. So, I wanted to get an early start this morning. And then I'm going to go to town. Get Puppy a treat. So to speed things up a little bit this morning, I went ahead and browned my hamburger, and I've got it draining. And I'll see if I still want to go to town here in a little bit, but I thought I would go ahead and get started early this morning. So, let me move you over a little bit closer. So you can see what I'm doing here this morning. Okay, I've got my hamburger browned. Put it back in the pot. I'm just using a pot this morning. And I browned my hamburger in this little pot. I love this pot. We need to come out of the kitchen in the mornings. So, he is protesting. He's protesting this morning. Okay, I'm just going to put everything, the hamburger back in the pot. And I'm going to get this warming back up. I love this pot. I can brown my burger in it and make my chili in it. Good morning, everyone. And to speed up time, I went ahead and browned the hamburger and drained it. And I cut up some green peppers and some onions. Now, this is my husband's recipe. So, this is what the way he likes the chili. So I'm just going to throw him together a pot of chili. And then I'm going to make some cornbread in the iron skillet. So that's what we're going to be making this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and put some green peppers and onions in there. And let them saute. Get them started. Now, I always made more of a sweet chili using chili powder and different things. My husband prefers the packet of chili, the original. So that's what he prefers. So while I'm sauteing my onions and peppers, I'm going to go ahead and get my cans ready. So, we'll add this here in just a minute. We'll let that saute. And then I use a can of tomato puree, 1 can of diced tomatoes, 2 cans of kidney beans. So I'm going to go ahead and get those open while I'm waiting for that to saute. And you're going to hear my little one in there protesting a little bit this morning. Just trying to get these to saute a little bit here for me. I thought about going to town here in a little bit, but I'm not sure if I'm quite ready for that trip or not. I thought I would just maybe go to Walmart and look around. Just something to get my mind occupied. Keep my mind occupied. So while that good morning created with cardboard. Good morning. How are you this morning? I'm going to go ahead and get these cans open, and I used the crank can opener because of all the surgeries I went through. This is still good therapy for my hands, so I do use the old crank can opener. It's good therapy. Keeps my hands moving. It's what I used when I was going through therapy after all my surgeries. And it helps to keep my hands moving pretty good. What's the old saying? If you don't use it, you lose it. And this uses muscles in your arms as well. So I opened 1 can, large can of tomato puree, and just 1 can of diced tomatoes. Now I don't drain my diced tomatoes. Now I'm going to go ahead and open my 2 cans of kidney beans, and I do drain the kidney beans. I'm going to go ahead and add my can of tomatoes to my hamburger, onions, and peppers, just to give it a little bit of juice in there, because I drained that hamburger and I don't want anything sticking. And that'll help those tomatoes to cook up a little bit while I'm getting everything else ready. So, right now I have the hamburger, the tomatoes, and the green peppers sauteing on a low heat. And while we're working on that, I'm getting everything else ready here. So I'm going to go ahead and drain my 2 cans of kidney beans. Beautiful here this morning. The sun's out. It's pretty. Now I've got a kitty meowing. This is real life. As I always say, it happens when it happens, as it happens. So good morning. If you're just coming in, I'm just making some chili this morning, and I'm making my husband's recipe. And we have a puppy protesting because he had been misbehaving in the kitchen. So we're trying to break him of the morning kitchens. because he's only 7 months old. He'll be 8 months old the 1st of February. So while he's young, I want to break him of any little habits that he has. And he would wait till I would go live, and he was being very aggressive in the kitchen, so I'm trying to break him of the kitchen habit. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add the 1 pack of the original chili mix seasoning and let that start cooking in to what I've already got in my pot. And like I said, this is my husband's recipe. I always had a sweet chili and always made a sweet chili because my daughter liked the sweet chili. And my husband had his preference for chili, and this is his preference. So he would come in and make the chili, and I would come in and watch him make it and try to get as close to his recipe as I can. It's very easy, very simple. Okay. So now all I've got in the pot is the chili seasoning packet, green peppers, tomatoes, and onions. And I'm just going to let that simmer there for a minute. Turn it down just a wee bit. The only thing I think that I do a little bit different is I had to add just a little bit of sugar to mine, which my husband doesn't normally add sugar to his chili. But just for my own preference, I like just a wee bit of sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ready. About so much. Just enough to take some of the tang out of the chili seasoning. That's a very good chili seasoning. I don't have to add anything else to that. Other than I do add a little bit of garlic powder. So that's what we're working on this morning. And we're letting that simmer just a few minutes. Let it work through that meat real good. And I'm going to be here for a little bit this morning, so I thought I'd go ahead and make some chili. And bring you along. Okay, that looks really good. I'm going to go ahead and add my puree. Now this will just cook low for about half an hour to an hour, depending on how long I want it to cook. Depending on what I've got planned for my day. And then I'm going to add the 2 cans of kidney beans drink. And I always add just a wee bit of water in the bottom of my cans. Swish it around. Not much, just a little bit. And I just do that to the kidney bean cans, in case anything's stuck in there. And then we'll get that all stirred in. I didn't want my green peppers and onions to over saute because this is going to be cooking on low for a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar. And that's just my preference. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of garlic powder. And I'm going to get all that stirred up real good. This is a very quick and easy chili. My husband calls it the man chili. Okay, let me go ahead and move all this out of my way. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven on to 350. And I'm going to be making cornbread in an iron skillet this morning. So I have my cast iron skillet, and I put just a little bit of vegetable oil in it, enough to coat the bottom really good. And I'm going to put that in the oven and let it start heating up. Okay, I'm going to bring you over and let you see the chili before I get started on the. Hopefully you can see that okay. This light is horrible. So I'm just going to let this cook slow for about a half an hour to an hour. Just on a simmer. Since I'm going to be here doing a few things this morning. I'm just going to put my lid on that. And then this morning I am using Jiffy cornmeal, and I always freeze my cornmeal, and then before I use it I let it warm back up. The reason that I freeze mine is because it's only myself and my husband, and I don't want it to go bad before I use it, so I can just put it in the freezer, and then when I'm ready for it I can take it out. And I'm going to be using 2 boxes this morning. And I'm going to be making this in the iron skillet in the oven. My husband loves cornbread with his chili. I'm just going to be using 2 boxes. And because it was in the freezer, I want to make sure that I get as many of the lumps out of it as I can. So I just take a whisk and crunch it down. Hubby's protesting, I apologize. But we're in training. And he was being very aggressive in the kitchen when I was trying to be on a live. And he's very young, he's 7 months old. So I thought we would go ahead and break that habit. So today's day 2, and he's protesting. We did give him some snacks, and he has some toys to play with. And he has the whole living room to play in. I just put a small gate up where the entry comes into the kitchen. Okay, we'll go go ahead and just smash this up real good. Then I'm going to move this to a larger container. Or a larger bowl, should I say. So I can mix it. I just like this one because it's easier for me to crunch up any lumps, any big lumps. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm just going to add that into my large mixing. Now that I've kind of turned it over, I can see if there's any more lumps in there I want removed. In the meantime, I'm letting my skillet heat up in the oven. And I'm just going to follow the directions on the box. For each box, I need 1 egg and 1/3 cup of milk. So I have 2 eggs, and I'll let them get room temperature. And then I need 1/3 cup of milk. Now I use a canned milk. You can use any type of milk. You can use whole milk 2%. I like the canned milk in my corn milk. So what I'll do is half and half. Half canned milk, evaporated milk, and half water. Oops, this one just don't want to open. There we go. So I'm going to do, it needs 1/3 cup for each box. I'm going to do 1/3 of the evaporated milk. And then I'm going to do 1/3 cup of coffee, or cup of water. Bringing me up to 2/3. Then I'm just going to kind of mix that up a little bit. I just think that the evaporated milk makes your cornbread more moist and it holds together better. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. And I'm just going to stir it up. This will be quick and easy today. And my husband had a few things he wanted to do outside. And wanted to do a few things with his truck. So I thought I would go ahead and get all of this done. And then whenever he's ready, we'll have cornbread, chili and cornbread. And I don't want to over-mix this. Just want to make sure everything's good and blended. And then what I do with the iron skillet, it's been heating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that oil that I had in there for the bottom, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm going to wipe off the side of my skillet. And then I'm going to mix that vegetable oil right in there with that mix. these things. Since my skillet is hot, I'm going to go ahead and move my cutting board. And I'm going to bring my iron skillet over. And now my oven is heated to 350. We'll give us one good stir here. And then I'm just going to add that right into my skillet. This is another recipe that my daughter likes. And she's usually in the kitchen with me when I'm making it, so sweetheart, if you're watching this, see how easy that was. You can do that. And then I'm just going to shake this a little bit, level everything out, and then I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to set my timer for about 15 minutes, and then I'll come back and check it. So, that's all there is to it. So, got that done this morning. And I always save my little jars and wash them, run them through the dishwasher, sanitize them, and then they can be used for something else. I think this was a gravy jar. And then I'll put a lid on my evaporated milk, and whenever I go to make my next meal, when I need milk, I'll have that ready to go. I'm going to give my chili a stir. I'll bring you back over so you can see how nice that blends in. I'm hoping you can see that. See how pretty that is. It makes it pretty chili. Hopefully you can see that okay. And I'm just going to let that cook on low for about a half an hour to an hour, depending on how long I want it to simmer. And in about 15 or 20 minutes, my cornbread should be ready to come out of the oven. So anytime that my husband wants chili and cornbread for lunch, it will be ready. So that'll just speed up my day. And that's what I'm doing this morning. Oops. Try and move you over here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get some water in my sink and my bowl. was very fast and very easy this morning. And it's a little bit cold here today yet, so I thought that would be something nice and quick. Something I could put on and just check. And then when my husband's ready for his lunch, we'll have chili and cornbread ready. Gonna rinse everything off here a minute. Put a little Coke in there and let that sit for a minute so I can run. That was this morning to get that underway. I'm doing some laundry this morning. I'm doing a few house chores. And I've got Hubby'S chili on. So, how's it going? It's going good. How are you this morning? Good morning, Aggie. Doing really good. A lot better today than I was. One day at a time. Having some coffee. And I've got the chili on. I'm glad. Well, thank you. Oh, I'm well. Thank you. What is today's plan? I am making my husband's chili and cornbread in an iron skillet this morning. If you want to go back to the beginning. But I have everything in the pot. I've got his chili on low. And I thought that way I'd have some chili ready and cornbread for lunch. So, I've got everything on. Hopefully you can see that okay. And the cornbread is in the oven in an iron skillet. So that's what we're doing this morning. And we're still in training with the puppy. And he was being just a little aggressive in the kitchen when he was smelling food because he's only 7 months old. He'll be 8 months old the 1st of February. So we're training him. Did you know chili was Texas prison food originally? No, I did not. No, I did not know that. Now, my chili growing up was more of a sweet chili. And this is how my husband made his chili. And he tried his chili and tried my chili, and he preferred his. So he had me to come in the kitchen one day because he was always making his chili. And I was curious what all he put in it. So he had me to come to the kitchen and watch him. And when I did one pot of chili, and he thought I had it close enough to his recipe, then he turned it over to me. And he said, now you can make my chili. And I'm going to go ahead and I've got that on simmer. I'm going to let that simmer for about 45 minutes. And I'll check the cornbread here in about 15 minutes. And I'm going to go in here and check on Poppy. Whoops. terrible. And this is the little one that was making all the noise. He's absolutely spoiled. Say, I am spoiled. So that's what I'm into this morning. The sun's out here this morning. It's pretty, it's bright. So I'm doing some laundry, washing some chair covers because of the puppy and the kitty. We have chair covers. And doing a little bit of house chores, and I thought I would make some chili. Oh, thank you. This is Ryder. Say, I was crying, so now my little eyes are probably going to look red. I was in here crying, making Mommy feel bad. Here, let's play the toy. Here, let's play the toy. How about this one? Want this one? But he is an absolute doll baby. He is an amazing little fella. He's very smart. Say, but we're still in training, and I was doing so good in the kitchen, and then on one day I just decided to be a little aggressive and start tugging on Mommy's pants. And then the next day he did the same thing. So that went on for about a week. So since he's young enough, we thought we would go ahead and put up a little temporary, I've got one of those little folding round metal pins that you can put up for like when we're camping, that's like a play area. And I just kind of temporarily put that up where you go from the living room to the kitchen. Just enough to where he doesn't come running into the kitchen. And that'll teach him that when Mommy's in the kitchen, that he shouldn't be in the kitchen. And he's very smart and he learns very quick. So that should be easy. An easy fix, I hope. But that's what I'm into this morning. And I've been on here now for how long? A little over half an hour. I'll stay on a few more minutes. What I put in the chili was, I browned my hamburger and drained it. Added the green peppers and onions and let them saute. And then I added 1 can of diced tomatoes. I didn't drain the juice. And went ahead and mixed that in with the hamburger and green onions, or onions and green peppers, because I didn't want it to stick in my pot. And that gave it a little bit of juice. And then I added 1 large can of the tomato puree and 2 cans of drained kidney beans, 1 packet of the original chili seasoning, and just a little bit of garlic powder, and then I added just a little sugar. And trying to think, that's everything that I did. And then for cornbread, I had some of the cornbread, Jiffy cornbread mix in the freezer. And I've been doing a freezer rotation, so I went ahead and pulled 2 boxes out this morning and let them warm up really good. And that's what I did with the cornbread. And the only difference that I did, instead of using whole milk or 2%, I used half of it was condensed milk. It was 1/3 cup per box. And I used 1/3 cup of condensed milk and 1/3 cup of water. And that's what I added to my cornbread mix. And then in the bottom of the iron skillet, I was letting it heat while I was mixing my cornbread mix. And I had a little bit of vegetable oil in the bottom. And when I got my mix ready, I went ahead and poured that vegetable oil into my cornbread mix and then put it in the iron skillet. And I set my timer, it's 350, I set my timer for 15 minutes. So I'll go back and forth and check it. And hubby wanted to get a few things done this morning, and then I think we're going to go to town. Just maybe to get out and do a few things. I'm not sure if I want to go to town today or not. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And somebody is wanting my attention. So I'm going to hop off of here. And he may need to go potty because he has a little bell that he rings. And he was over, it's one of the potty training bells. And mine is like a little monkey that has a long string that comes down like a piece of material. And it has like little sleigh bells on it. And they just go over and get it and ring it. And that way you know they need to go to the potty. And he faithfully rings his little potty bell. And it only took me maybe a week. Hi, Amelia. How are you this morning? It only took me about a week to get him trained on his little potty training doorbell. You hang it from your door handle. And it's absolutely adorable. It's a little monkey. It has like little sleigh bells. And you hang this on your door, on the doorknob. And when they need to go potty, they ring their little potty bell. And it took him only about a week to figure out what Mama was expecting. And now he's very faithfully, he goes to the door and rings his little bell so I can hear him when I'm somewhere else in the trailer. Okay, and my timer's going off here. Let me go check my cornbread. I just reset the timer for 5 minutes. And so I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here. But we're doing much better today. I apologize that I had a really, really, really bad day yesterday. And it was a really, 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 really bad day. But I guess we all have bad days. But today we have picked ourselves up, dusted ourselves off, and it's a new day. New beginning, huh? Hello. So, I hope that was informative. And if my daughter's watching, she'll see how easy it is to make Mama's chili. Well, actually, it's my husband's recipe. But she loves that chili, and she loves the cornbread made in the iron skillet. So, if you're watching, sweetheart, you've seen how easy that is. Follow along, and you're in the kitchen with Mom. Real easy. So, I'm going to hop off of here. Give my little fur baby some attention. I think he done pretty good for even protesting with his training. I don't think he understands that it's not a good idea to be playful in the kitchen with Mama when Mama's cooking. So we're training. And so I'm going to hop off of here, get a few things done. So till next time, enjoy your day. And don't be afraid to go to the kitchen, try new things. So till next time, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.